I know you're judging us for being here in Afghanistan and eating burgers, fries, and things, but that's the goal. It's the cool coffee place here in Kabul. A lot of young progressive people come here to this coffee. A lot of foreigners who are visiting Kabul come here to this coffee as well. And this is the names of all the Spanish soldiers who died under the NATO command fighting here in Afghanistan. Has to be one of your stops. It's a beautiful, beautiful mosque. Those are gorgeous. This store is really, really pretty. Look at all the kinds of different nuts they have. I know Americans' friends that they were here fighting. Is it justifiable for them to come here and die for women's rights of Afghanistan? And welcome to another video from out of your comfort zone. My name is Rodrigo.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are not in Afghanistan. We are actually in Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan, at the memorial Martyrs of Martyrs, to the soldiers who fought and died during the Second World War, which here and everywhere around the ex-Soviet Union is called the Great Patriotic War. And why we are here and not in Afghanistan? Because we already been to Afghanistan for 2 weeks. It was absolutely amazing, but we needed about a couple of days here after we crossed by land to Tajikistan to decompress and rethink everything we saw in Afghanistan to be able to give you a better introduction to our videos.
It was a very intense experience.
Very intense experience. But the difference from my videos, I believe, is that I'm a geopolitical analyst. So everything you're gonna see and explore together with us around Afghanistan is gonna have a lot of geopolitical analysis, context, history, recent history from just before the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, after the invasion, the Civil War, then the September 11th terrorist attacks in New York, the American invasion with the international coalition, the fall of Kabul, and then today, how is Afghanistan? Talk about the women's rights, talk about the security, which improved tremendously, some pros and cons, not everything black and white, but with context, with nuance.
Nothing is black and white in Afghanistan.
Absolutely. So I don't know exactly to which video you clicked to watch, because you're using this introduction to almost every single video we have about Afghanistan. We're gonna learn more about the graveyard of empires. The Brits tried, the Soviets tried, the Americans tried, and they all failed to occupy and tame Afghanistan. It was also known as the Soviets' Vietnam, because as the Americans in Vietnam, the Soviet Union invaded, occupied Afghanistan, but it wasn't able to stay. It was kicked out, invited to leave Afghanistan, the same way the Americans failed in Vietnam. I hope you enjoyed. Hello everyone, welcome to another video from out of your comfort zone, and we are here in Afghanistan. Yes, because that's the new flag from the Taliban, which essentially says it's the Islamic Emirate. Actually, by the way, saying here in Islam is exactly this one here from the flag of Saudi Arabia. So that's what you're gonna get with this video here. It's not gonna be another YouTuber, hey, look at me in Afghanistan, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You're gonna get context. Why? I understand what's been happening here in Afghanistan since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you name it. I studied that. So we're gonna look together, maybe confirm some of the stereotypes that we have, or we're gonna maybe break the stereotypes we had.
We're trying to come with an open mind.
Exactly. So with all the baggage and knowledge we have already, but with the open mind that maybe something that we watch on the news or the think tanks were telling us or other YouTubers are telling us, if it's correct or not correct. And one cool thing why we are recording here, because this is the first hostel ever here in Afghanistan.
First and only.
Exactly. In Kabul.
Afghan Aria Guest House.
We are not promoting them, we are not getting any money from them. It's just because we always backpack around the world. We love staying in hostels, we meet other travelers.
That's how we met.
Exactly. That's how we met, exactly. Backpacking Croatia, we stay in the same hostel and voila. So that's why we think it's really cool. So this video is gonna have a lot of geopolitics, history about Afghanistan, the recent history, the Soviet invasion, the American occupation, the Civil War in between, the fall of Kabul, but also like how to travel Afghanistan. So far, it's not that hard. We've been here for 2 days. You can stay in a hostel. The owner here can help you with everything. It's amazing. Like he's been giving us so much good information.
Yeah, he's very helpful.
And you can pick and choose what is best for you. Enjoy. Almost there. We are still in our hostel in Islamabad. And here we go. Nick is so cute, it hurts. Going through immigration. This is our flight. Goodbye, Pakistan. It was great. Landing in Kabul. All of these used to be American military infrastructure, and it's all gone. Oh, here at the Kabul airport, the whole parking lot has solar panels. Hope they still produce something and not just for showing because it was from the time of the Americans. I don't know. Some important people back there. You arrive at the airport and already have I heart Afghanistan. And obviously Chinatown, Chinese investment everywhere. A wedding hall right at the exit of the airport. Really cool, really nice. They are very into wedding halls here, like in Pakistan. Fancy building here in Kabul. Cool, right in front of the checkpoint. Very nice buildings here as well.
This is the U.S. Embassy.
Ah, there was
Embassy?
That one.
that was the beautiful one there. It used to be the U.S. Embassy.
Because the embassy closed, right?
No, yeah. I think they have a question. I don't know what it is. I think they are.
Well, what was saying there with the American flag?
We went against U.S.
Ah,
against
uh-huh.
left Afghanistan.
You see the flag was kind of melting and it was written, "We beat the Americans." A gas station brand new here in Kabul. Afghanistan Oil and Gas Corporation. And by the way, look at these cakes. Wow. Those are gorgeous. This store is really, really pretty. Look at all the kinds of different nuts they have.
Los biscoitos atrás de você.
Oh my gosh. You call it a petit four? I don't find these in many places around the world. I feel like eating everything here. Eu quero desse, amor. So one of these. And for me, one of these, please.
And then one of these.
That's good. Oh my gosh, everything looks good. Perfect, thank you so much. This is the shop where you saw all of those delicious things. Amazing. So if you're in Kabul, I think I'm gonna put like maybe the contact, something in the description because you have to visit. Okay, so please tell me, someone who has more knowledge than me, why in Kabul, Afghanistan, you have all these women dresses with very little cloth on it at a store in Kabul. Like, where do they wear them? So if you know the answer, let us know, because I'm curious now to whom they're selling that. Zinger burgers. Maybe it's like their McDonald's.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Yeah, my friend.
Assalamu alaikum. Good burgers. Looks like a cool restaurant. Barg Continental. And they have everything here. It's more like a westernized food. Look at this mall. Like there is Pizza Hut, but the lights are off, so I don't think it's working active anymore. But the rest seems pretty fancy. A little mall here. Actually, I was trying to go to that gym over there, but today is holiday, so it's closed. Hopefully I can go to that gym maybe tomorrow. And we are here walking around Kabul, and then there's this coffee here, Dawn Coffee. It's the cool coffee place here in Kabul. A lot of young progressive people come here to this coffee. A lot of foreigners who are visiting Kabul come here to this coffee as well. And you know all, I'm Brazilian. And when I'm getting to the coffee shop, bem-vindo. Bem-vindo means welcome in Portuguese. And here's pretty cool coffee place. Hello, lady. How are you? And it's really nice. We were talking with some young guys here. They have like iced coffees and everything. So look like, I don't know, you're at Starbucks or any other cool coffee place in your town, in your city, anywhere around the world. Some cakes, games. So yeah, we are coming here tomorrow because it's too late to have coffee now. So we are here in a kind of a fast food restaurant in Kabul, and it's pretty cool. Like it's normal, like one you're gonna see in United States, in Europe, Australia, whatever. They have pizzas, they have juice, burgers, everything you want. Chinese food. They even have Monster there if you want a Monster. So remember, the United States stayed 20 years here, and there was a lot of foreigners working here. So it's just like any other place, like westernized. Obviously, you have all the YouTubers and CNN or BBC showing just the traditional things in the market that sometimes doesn't look so fancy. There's the other side, the modern side of the country, and here.
Yeah, so far the city center is honestly quite a bit nicer than I was expecting. Which talks about my own preconceptions, but you know.
Again, this trip is to confirm some preconceptions and to break some preconceptions. Let's see. And obviously, we wanted to show all of that. I want you to see exactly what you're seeing here. We are not coming with an agenda. We're going to show exactly what you're seeing here. The good and the bad.
We're trying to be open-minded ourselves. So.
And be open-minded ourselves, exactly. I know you're judging us for being here in Afghanistan and eating burgers, fries, and things. But that's the goal, to show the other side that no one is showing. We eventually going to eat traditional food in the bazaar, whatever. But we want to show this other Afghanistan that few people show. Look at this ice creams. Beautiful. All kinds of cakes. Ah, yes. Nice. Pretty good. Look at this breakfast here in the hostel. Oh my gosh. Tashkur.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, thank you so much. Wow. Gonna start the day. So this is a snow leopard, a real one. Tashkur, thank you so much. You can see the paws. Oh wow, the bone. What's the name of the province where you have
Badakhshan.
Bakshan?
Badakhshan.
Bakshan. Is it more on the north?
In the north, near China and Pakistan.
Close to China, Pakistan, they still have snow leopards. It's super rare and so not cool to kill. It's an interesting shop. So this one, $1,200. Okay. Tashkur. Masalama. They still have the Soviet pins presented by the RSS by Commanding General Freedom 06. Interesting. Beautiful carpets.
Too bad we don't have more space in our backpacks. But...
Yeah.
This is a killing carpet mix. This is from Tivalkula.
Where is that made from?
This is made in Herat.
In Herat.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. We are going to visit Herat.
This is made in Herat. This is another one. You check the quality.
The fall of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's like a big roundabout here in Kabul. This is the British cemetery here in Kabul. I would say it's more like an international cemetery because there are people from all over the world. Some very old one. He passed away in 1936. I think they passed away here in Afghanistan. La mémoire de soldats français morts en Afghanistan. To the memory of the French soldiers who died in Afghanistan. And I think we're gonna take a look over there. There are some of the names of Canadian soldiers and Spanish soldiers who died here. And our guide was saying that the Taliban was making sure to keep the cemetery clean and safe and organized. And this is the names of all the Spanish soldiers who died under the NATO command fighting here in Afghanistan. A lot of them. And it's very interesting because the Taliban now took over and they could have destroyed everything. Wow, there's a symbol of NATO over there, like let's destroy everything. But no, they left. The Spanish soldiers were fighting against the Taliban, but it's a little bit of respect for the warriors from each side who died. I think it's interesting. Last person who died here, actually because the husband died here in Kandahar in 78, very old, and then the wife wanted to be buried close to her husband.
She lived to 99.
99 years old. And here's the British part. This memorial is dedicated to all of those British officers and soldiers who gave their lives in the Afghan wars of the 19th and 20th century. Renovated by the officers of the soldiers of the British contingents of the International Security Assistance Force in Kabul, February 2002. We shall remember them. Because the 19th century, the 1800s, the British were here as well. And they lost, like every other main power lost here in Afghanistan. But, see, South Africa as well. So they have South African troops here. I didn't know that as well. You see how internationalized was I think those weren't soldiers, they were, in my knowledge, private military contractors, because I know by experience that a lot of PMCs, private military contractors, like mercenaries, some people say, a lot of them, they were from South Africa. So they were probably working here and got killed during the conflict. Kabul City Walk. It's a hotel, it's the...
Hotel and also business places.
Okay, nice building.
Shopping center. A very expensive one.
You don't see many tuk-tuks here in Kabul at least, but you see a lot of taxi cabs. You see, Kabul is surrounded by mountains everywhere. A lot of antennas up there, like overlooking Kabul. Probably a lot of stuff for the Americans. I don't know if most of it's not working, but I think most of those antennas were used to facilitate the communication of the NATO mission here. So I'm not sure if they're still working today. If you're visiting Kabul, the Sakhi shrine or mosque has to be one of your stops. It's a beautiful, beautiful mosque. Not as big as the one from Mazar Sharif. You're gonna go to Mazar Sharif, I'm gonna show you. But the details are absolutely impressive. All the ornaments, the texture, the painting, it's beautiful, beautiful. Security. They believe that Salih, the first Shia Imam, was here and put his hand here. So everyone puts their hand here as well. That's a much better view of the Ali Shrine or mosque. Very bluish, very beautiful. Again, you can see the mosque just here and then the whole mountains, and that's Kabul back there. So Kabul is surrounded by mountains. Remember the mosque we visited? So there was the security that was checking everything, did a pat down to see if there were any apples. And it was kind of like a religious security. They were there and just looking at everyone, and they look at Nikki and they saw the bangs. They didn't like it.
I talked to our guide for a while about them, and then they let me go. I just did this.
They had to cover.
I didn't even put them back though. I just did this, and then he's all okay.
And then he's like, okay. That's right.
Sim, mas eu lembro. Isso é algo.
Still a lot of bunkers. Now we're gonna visit the Afghanistan's Cultural Heritage at National Museum of Afghanistan. So we are at the Heritage Museum. It was interesting, a lot of heritage from Afghanistan. It's important not to lose that. But the thing that struck me the most is that how the museum was just before the Americans arrived. It was like just a shell, there was nothing. Like completely abandoned, dogs walking around, everything stolen, there was nothing. And
To a guide, we're not.
we saw the pictures, not according to the guy. We saw the pictures inside. I'm gonna show you the pictures. They have the pictures inside the museum, how the museum used to be. And then with the Americans coming here, and it's not just Americans, right? NATO and all the international community trying to develop Afghanistan. They invest a lot of money. We're gonna see now some stickers from Japan Development Aid because of the peaceful constitution, pacifist constitution. They don't send troops, soldiers to different countries, but they invest a lot in development. So you see the stickers all over the museum that they were helping. Some people say like, the United States spent 20 years here and trillions of dollars and didn't get anything for it and didn't help the country at all. No, some things were helped. Museums, schools, some institutions, they were formed. It's not like everything was wasteful. Afghanistan, the year 2000, with the fall of Kabul, they were very, very, very different countries, completely different countries. But another thing you notice, I'm going to show you, I was speaking Portuguese, the level of security here. It's still a lot of bunkers. Everything that was important was almost like a compound. So the museum, super thick walls and everything, security everywhere. We just passed the Afghan Islamic University, super thick walls, different layers of security, because when the Americans were here, it was super stressful. Terrorist attacks all the time, kidnapping and everything. They had to live like compound to compound to compound, just moving by bulletproof cars. The foreigners, at least, was very stressful. Like it or not, with the fall of Kabul, the Taliban takeover, security improved a lot here, a lot. Everyone says, oh, there's like complicated, they call it bad times or not, but everyone says that security improved a lot. And we are here now. Like, we wouldn't visit here when the Americans were here. As people say, if you can take the Maslow pyramid of necessities, security is one of the basic ones. We are really sorry that women don't have many rights here, but that's a different level. Hopefully we're going to achieve that as time goes by. The same way things are improving for women, the whole Middle East, especially Saudi Arabia, last 10 years improved a lot. And hopefully it's going to improve here as well.
Trying to stay optimistic because some things are.
Some parts of the women thing is nothing much different than the media has been telling you, to be honest.
School ends at 13 and such.
Yeah, but we knew that. But for instance, the surprise of women doing the immigration papers yesterday, that was like, okay, so there are some women in some power positions, mid-management power positions, which is a good thing. So it's not all bad. We have to see things with nuance, right? So I'm going to talk more about that. So they still obviously sell and talk about the Afghan flag and represents the country outside and the planes, they have that. And this is the Taliban flag. We're going to talk about that later. And all the different places, Banyan. What was this?
Palace King of
That was the Palace King, the one we passed by. Very different now. I'm going to show you the pictures, how it is today. Before the American occupation was literally like that, and then they had time to reconstruct, invest, and become like this.
Foundation.
There was some improvements again. And this is the palace from inside. Again, before 2001, this was like ruins completely.
That's worth mentioning is that our guide was telling us there used to be a lot of families, women, kids, fathers, mothers would come hang out here, but now since nobody here.
A couple of guys. So this foundation is like financed by foreigners, where it's a religious foundation. So Ismaili Muslim is a part of a branch of Shia Islam. And our guide, he is Ismaili Muslim. And this trust that financed this is Ismaili Islam. And how it was and how it became. Because it's complicated, right? Because now the price of having women's rights and everything would be to occupy Afghanistan again. And who's gonna do this? Who's gonna pay the bill? Who is gonna send the soldiers here to die? I know Americans, friends, that they were here fighting. Is it justifiable for them to come here and die for women's rights of Afghanistan? It's very easy for me to say, oh yes, you should do that, because it's not me fighting, it's not me paying the bill. It's a very complicated situation. We are showing just what we're observing here,
I
actually.
think I'm okay.
And those are the gardens here where people used to enjoy, have fun and everything. A lot of women, a lot of kids, but now almost no one. Complicated situation. Traffic in Kabul is not easy, and those blue cars are all taxi cabs. Take a look at that. Here's a restaurant here in Afghanistan, in Kabul as well. They have Paw Patrol and everything, which I think is not very Islamic, let's say. It doesn't follow much the fundamentalist teachings of Islam. But the TB knows that, right? They know this place exists, but they probably have an agreement with the elite here in Kabul. Because the elite, they don't care about if it's the previous government, if it's TB, if it's left wing, if it's right wing, whatever. Elite is always going to make money. Always going to be transactional, and it works all over the world. You think in the United States the elite cares so much that if it's Democrats or Republicans? No, all the corporations make money the same way, whoever's in the White House, and the same in Europe and everything. Here is the same. They have an agreement between them. Probably the elite can have like a little bit occidentalized life while the rest of the country doesn't, and the TB doesn't bother them, and they don't bother too much the TB. Both of us keep making business and being power, and that's it. So they're gonna have a little birthday party here for 23 years old. Então esse que seria um almoço mais chiquinho. E como vocês podem ver, a Nick tá sem véu. Falar que não tem problema nenhum ela ficar sem véu aqui nesse restaurante. Então, de novo, é um mundo diferente.
Mas depende, sou Kabul e não sabemos.
Só acompanha o vídeo que daqui a pouco a gente vai te dizer como são as outras províncias e tudo mais. A gente já sabe que algumas províncias vão ser bem mais restritivas e outras um pouco mais liberais. Interesting, like this is all cakes in this place we were. I really very much would like to just give a bite on this place, but here that shows like what they desire and what a lot of people in the world desire, right? Money, Rolex, and crown, let's say.